Welcome back to Home Sweet Home. We're getting into our second best of one of the day. If you're just joining us, you saw Contact get upset by Simon in 16-14 over on Inferno. Certainly a stunning one to start off the group stage, but one that, may or may not be reciprocated. We actually got a pretty interesting match here today. We've got Forze taking on the likes of Honoris here, a team that you probably know, and a team that on paper you might not know, but certainly when we take a look at these lineups, you'll recognize at least two of these names here, Dwayne.
Oh, we certainly will. The duo powerhouse is back together, Neo and Taz. It seems like every time after this Virtus Pro lineup has just gone apart, they always somehow manage to come back together. Look, an interesting one. Certainly an interesting one. You know, looking at the lineup of this lineup, it's like they've got three players that are heavily known in the Polish scene. You got Neo and Taz that have played on VP. We saw, FaZe and RC as well for Taz. And then, I should say for Neo that was on FaZe. But the fact is like, Stomp, he was known in that Illumina and XCOM lineup. So, look, three players that are heavily known in the Polish scene. But then you've got Rico and Prism, who are just not known at all.
Yeah, certainly a bit of a weird roster, not just because of those name placings, but also because these guys have never played before ever. As far to my records, at least. Maybe there's something I'm missing there of my own right, Dwayne. But I take a look at HLTV, there are no maps on record for Honoris. So I don't know how we weigh this match up as a result, just based off that fact that, again, you can talk about theorems in the way that, Taz and Neo can link up because of that old Virtus Pro duo. You can talk about how Stomp, obviously, on his AWP has had his own respectable sort of performances in his XCOM lineups and his Illumina lineups before. But Rico and Prism, they've been part of some teams that, may not be familiar to everybody, Codewise Unicorns and Pompa Black are the two lineups that they were part of before, and it's like, well, those aren't exactly big name teams and big name rosters, So it's just this competition obviously is really going to set the basis, I feel like, for Honoris and their position in Tier 2 Counterstrike.
Look, I mean, there was an announcement made on HLTV a few months ago saying that this lineup's in the works, right? So there's no doubt that this lineup's been working for a little bit of time. I think it's been 3 or 4 months that this lineup has at least been announced that it's in the works, but it only officially got announced 3 days ago. So we've seen no officials. We really don't have anything to go off, except that they've got a couple of veteran players on the lineup, and they've got Rico and Prism, who are pretty much completely unknown. I had a look at their HLTV profiles, very minimal games played on teams that people haven't even heard of. So what Honoris can bring, I've got no idea. You literally can't have an idea of what they're going to bring to the table. The only thing that you might expect is some level of decency, right? Is that, they're going to be going into this trying their absolute best and seeing what they're able to do. Maybe there's even that surprise factor that could potentially catch Forza off guard.
I mean, that's all plausible to my liking, especially considering the fact that, listen, right, that also works both ways. We can't predict how Honoris are going to do because we've never seen them play before, but neither can Forza. Therefore, that gives them a slight little bit of element of surprise that could work out well if they pick the right map, if they work on the right sort of elements. And again, as you mentioned, 3 months together, at least 3 months behind the scenes together, it makes sense to me that probably there would be some sort of basis to work with here for the Honoris side. And there's a lot of excitement surrounding this lineup, obviously, just due to the nature of the players that are involved in this one. But it is a bit of a tough challenge ahead of them. I feel like Forza, it's not quite as bad as facing up against someone like Spirit, for example. I don't think that they're quite in that sort of level of the Russian CIS sort of scene. But Forza are a respectable side, and you can't take it away from them. You can't take anything out of these guys. Compared to sort of the teams they faced up against and the results they've had in the past as well. These are also guys that have competed in the HSH tournaments in the past. In week 3, they didn't quite make it out of the group stage. But also in other tournaments, like in week 2 and week 1, they made it into those playoffs before falling to some pretty respectable squads. And in LootBet CS Season 6, they actually managed to get to the top 8 of that particular tournament. So there's a lot going on right now for Forza, and to call them an easy team to win against is not fair. But it is also, I think, a pretty decent start for Honoris to get stuck in with a tough challenge, but nothing that's too strenuous for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. I don't think anyone is going to be expecting Forza to not be the favorites in this matchup. I mean, Honoris, we don't know anything about them. It's completely new, and we've got Forza. Look, their results haven't been fantastic recently. They've been decent. They haven't been, overly astounding, but they're a team that have been able to compete at some of the highest levels in the CIS region. We've seen some good results. They made it into the playoffs in both week 1 and week 2, like Jay said. Week 3, not so much as good. But look, I honestly, for Forza, this really shouldn't be too much of a challenge in my eyes. If really they can play their own game. I mean, Flit and XE-Power have had a fantastic couple of last months. The AWP, obviously, of XE-Power, and then just the raw fragging ability of the rifle from Flit. So, look, it is going to be interesting, and I would love to be surprised from Honoris. And you know what? There's always a chance that we might be, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to entertain the opportunity to see if there's a team and that can show up something surprising. I mean, we've already seen one surprise today, so personally, I would call it a surprise if Honoris were able to pull this one off out of the hat. I mean, and although I have faith in Taz and Neo, but there's only 2 out of 5 elements of the roster, so weighing up the team overall is certainly going to be an interesting prospect. Our map is going to be Mirage for this one. Now, I personally feel like that just on a basis of Counter-Strike basics, you probably got a pretty decent pick in this one because you can play it very puggy. You can, it's a popular pick as well for the general sort of like pug stars. So seeing a Mirage coming in for this one seems to me like it could have been the best map that they could have picked for the Honoris side. And considering, it's a good map for Forza, it's not one of their best maps. I feel like that they've probably just gone around the right path here.
I tell you what, I'm really happy with this veto for Honoris. Honestly, sliding in any map like a Vertigo or a Nuke or a Train, I think it's too early to try and slip in. I mean, I don't know how long this lineup's been together. I mean, it's been announced that it's been in the works for 3 months. Doesn't mean the lineup's been together for 3 months. You're going into a map like a Dust 2 or Mirage. It's a great opportunity to really at least get some comfortability, right? Forza, yeah, look, it's a map they play relatively often. It's not a fantastic map for them. So, in all honesty, this best of one is a pretty decent veto for Honoris.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you talk about how Simon just got their upset victory a little bit earlier on today. So the Honoris side could also pull off another good upset right here, just the basis of what we've got going for them. Again, it's not going to be an easy matchup. I don't think. I think it will be down to the wire if it does go that far. But still, Honoris have bought themselves the best chance possible at this moment, like.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I'm trying to think about in which ways we could potentially see like Honoris be able to pull an upset over Forza, and honestly, it probably comes down to the veteran players, right? I'm looking at both Neo and Taz, and I'm thinking, right, what are they able to bring to the table? We've got the veteran player of Taz being that in-game leader. Are they able to, maybe calm the players in some uncomfortable situations? We've got a couple of youngsters on the team that we haven't really seen being played at any kind of a high level, especially in Poland CS. I mean, we've looked at Polish CS this year, and it's been a wacky one. It's not been strong at all. We haven't seen a Polish team on the rise for a very long time, at least this year alone. So, look, I can't wait to see the progression of this lineup, and we might see it today over the course. Whether they make it out of the group stage or not, we're certainly going to at least see a couple of games from them.
Yeah, and I certainly am looking forward to their best of threes later today, whether that be through the qualification or the elimination match for the Honoris side. I don't think it's reasonable to expect them to win the match overall. No. I mean, again, best of one upset, so that caveat. But when it comes down to predictions, I think we're both going to be on the side of the Forza squad, not because of any sort of bias, but just simply because they've got a little bit more of a basis to work with. So. Going into this knife and this pistol, there'll be very important sort of rounds to start things off, and certainly the choice of side may be beneficial to the Honoris side. So, again, let's see how they do. Let's keep an open mind, let's keep some optimism, and see whether Honoris can pull something out of the hat against the Forza squad.
One thing right off the back, Jay, I'm loving their logo. I'm really liking the Honoris logo. That's a good sign for me, at least. Good logo, good team.
So endpoints suck. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Well, knife round is won by Honoris here, so they will have their moment in the sun to take their choice of side. Now, I actually will go ahead and choose the CT4 start. I mean, again, that makes sense to me. You know, just to have that defensive in. You know, a lot of teams tend to pick the CT side anyway, and obviously to get the better start here in this map up. I mean, it's still pretty balanced, all things considered, but even so, to have that little bit of a bonus there to get on the defensive early on, take what is usually the expected sort of the expected sort of, like, you know, favored side. And we'll see how Honoris do here on the pistol round. We're seeing the buy-ups coming in from Forze very early on. 3 players with the Kevlar. Smoke Flash for Almaza. He's passed on the P250 to Exi Power. And over on the Honoris side, it is 4 sets of Kevlar, no defuse kit, and no utility.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting set up coming out for the City side. But at the moment, it just looks to be a pretty standard default coming out from Forza. Actually, they're boosting a player into the ladder room. So this is quite a heavy sort of mid setup coming out at the moment for the City side. And unfortunately, they won't be able to deal with it too well because it looks to be the A set piece to come out. But look at the 2 lurkers that are still out from mid from the T's. But Flit can't find anything with it.
Jerry going to try to big recover. He will get a good tag off against Neo, but will not be able to take him down. Prism in the end will overwhelm him towards that underpass area and force us to a 4v3. Retake favourable to the CTs. Neo captures Almaza as the smoke starts to fade, and face crack with 2 players spotted. He takes a flick on towards Prism, could not land his headshot. He's running out of ammo as well, taking that first fight against him again around the corner, and it's all left to XC Power. 1 versus 4, tapping away with his P250 was the raid boss in this matchup. And a lot of noise and a lot of presence, and just pushed very close towards the CT forces, but in the end, as the defuse gets stuck, they'll rush around the corner and they'll overwhelm him with the presence, and the pistol will go the way of Honoris. A good start as well, the mid trades in particular going really well for the CT side.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal round. That's really nice coming out from Honoris. It was a bit of an interesting pistol strat coming out from Forza. They tried the A set piece, they got 2 lurkers out of mid, but they are dealt with so quickly. And Honoris starting things off on the right foot. It's only going to be the single SMG that goes into the investment. And Forza, they're going straight into the buy. Look at the Galils coming up. 4 Galils to work with after getting that bomb down.
Yeah, I mean, the money's straight up and out here for the Forza side. They're a team that don't like to spare any expense when it comes to his second round investments. Next he will take his first kill down towards mid. Jerry will find a secondary pick as well. Taz gets 2 trades though, so the man advantage swings back to the favor of Honoris here. Not for long. Flit holds on. Taz gets his 3K, and it's all to Almaza next now. The Galil versus Taz. Prism comes in from that CT spawn, and once again Forza caught off guard.
Yeah, Forza completely caught off guard. Some really nice hold coming out at the A bomb site. And Honoris, this is actually looking pretty stable at the moment, considering the fact that they're up against a force bite. An opportunity now for them to take a swift 3-0 lead on the CT side of Mirage. I'm really keen to see Stomp on the AWP. I remember he was very impactful back in the day. I'm talking maybe 1 or 2 years ago when he was on that Illuminar roster. Very strong AWPer in the Polish scene. So let's see if he still has what it takes. At the moment, no real mid-phase coming out from Forza at the moment. It looks like it's over to the B apartments, and Prism's here, one of the youngest members of the lineup.
Certainly one of the guys that we'll be keeping our eyes on as this lineup progresses. Honoris. Neo taking the next face out here. Prism does get face crack for a frag. And Taz looking down towards underpass, and Molotov's coming out. And the CTs will drive the T-side forces back. I mean, it is just pistols versus rifles at this moment. No Kevlar and no utility for the T-side to enter. But rely heavily on the Deagles to the heads. And for now, Honoris is just sitting pretty and waiting for the T's to make their way in. Apartments control seems to be gained by 2. It looks like it might be a split play if they can get that mid control. But again, not a lot of options here for the full side.
No real information's been given up either. The scout has at least spotted out a single player through the apartments. There is still a lurker up around that top connector area, around Chair, which I'm really interested about, of Almaza. They're really running the clock down low, Jay. This is 20 seconds now, and we're still not really seeing any presence to a bomb site yet.
Yeah, no, and for Forza, obviously, with them running out of time, I mean, they have to go down here if they want to get some money bonus. And with 10 seconds left, the bomb's going to make his way up here. The spray comes through. Taz finds 1. Some players going to try and stay alive. Flit will go forward in 5 seconds to the clock. Taz will take him down in the end. So they will just about get away with everything that they need. 3-0 for Honoris. But Forze running that clock uncomfortably low for my liking here, Dwayne. I didn't like how they took their time at all. Like, you know, if they had taken an extra 5 seconds, then that would have been round over and they would have been locked out without any money going into this next round. Because the AKs and AWPs will come out for them, though. And the T-side defaults coming in again, going to take their first faces in towards mid and the boost up towards the ramp position. Nothing will be seen early on by the T-side, though.
And straight away, that shot, that gives them the information of Honoris. They might want to now change their setup at the air bomb side. They know that there's an AWP player coming out for Forza, and they know how impactful XE Power can be for this lineup as well. And it looks like slow mid take coming out from Forza. A couple of players coming out in the underpass position. Face crack as well with a teammate of XE Power out through top mid. Very slow defaults coming out so far from Forza. And I tell you what, they've been able to bait out a fair bit of utility from Honoris as well.
Minutes to go, and the crossfire is set here towards the sniper's nest. The smoke does come in for the T side, though. Flit looking on. He's literally a couple feet below Neo. Has at the back of his teammate just in case it's required. He's going to keep away from the smoke clear position, and Neo doesn't see him. He doesn't see what? Neo, what? Neo, please. He didn't see him in the midst of it. He still can't find it. There we go. There comes the frag. Oh, okay, that got a little bit suspect for a moment. But now with 25 seconds left, the T's are forced to make their way in. Almaza will get one. Prism will trade it back to a 2-for-1 overall. Reiko's back here in the dark area with the FAMAS. He's overwhelmed by face crack, but 2 line up for Neo, and he's not missing that 3K. Jerry left alone now in a 1-on-3 scenario. Got to get that bomb down, and Stomp's ready for it. But 4-0 to the board of Honoris. It almost wasn't, I feel like, though.
Wow, that's, yeah, look, that was a little bit unfortunate that Neo wasn't able to catch off that kill earlier. But look, he's able to catch off the player into window, which would have been crucial for the T side to try and execute into the A bomb site. Massive round from Neo. And I tell you what, this is looking pretty good so far from Honoris. Up against the half bar, and this is just going to be quicker to the B bomb site from Forza. They're going to be lining up their smokes. Let's see what the defense is going to be looking like. How much damage can any of the nades do? This HE, if it's placed right, not too much damage.
And the smoke's coming in, the utility out for the T side. Face crack, no idea that Prism's there on the back of the site. He gets himself 2 good picks. Almaza's trying back in, but that's a 4-for-1 trade with Stomp and Neo also getting kills, and actually is left alone here with the Deagle in his hand. The bomb dropped out towards the B bomb site. Shots coming in from the orb. They'll know exactly where he is. And there it is. A 5-0 for the Honoris squad. And Forza yet to get started. I mean, we talked a little bit about whether or not there would be there would be a surprise factor to this, and I think I've kind of been surprised by how, you know, coordinated this Honoris side is. You know, we just talked about them being a pretty puggy sort of map for, you know, what probably was going to be a pretty puggy sort of playstyle, but right now they're looking a lot more like a team than even Contact did in that last game.
It's surprising, you know, considering how new this lineup is. It's great to see. It really is. Stomp on that AWP, still really yet to see him have some impact. We saw him getting a late kill in the end against the Eco on the last round. But this is his chance to try and, you know, potentially even try and out-AWP XE Power. Has a good spawn for mid, so probably just going to try and go for an opening mid pick. Honoris, are they able to keep the streak going and get 6 rounds up on the City side? And actually, no, XE Power is going to take the AWP up to the lower, to the underpass position, and Taz wants to aggress with Rico.
Establish that ramp control as the smoke start coming in for the set execution here. Taz going to read it, put a quick re-smoke back down. He doesn't get taken. Alba Reiko there for the trades. Can't get the second player though. He's dropped that bomb. And the AWP is Stomp. Will be able to deal with a 3 versus 2 now. The shot on towards Jerry is going to be a bit more of a difficult prospect. With that bomb being dropped though, and XE Power all the way on the B bomb site, This might end up being a bit of a weird time. Jerry does find the AWPer and find Prism next. Got one player left. M4 on Neo. He's made his way in towards Connector. I don't think Jerry saw him either. He'll grab that bomb thinking that A is going to be safe. And that might be the bad play because Xyz walked straight in towards the B bomb site. Jerry still here towards Tetris. And Neo expects another B there. He jumps down and his aim gets thrown right off. Jerry with a 3K. And the first finally on the board for the Forze side.
Oh, I tell you what, that could have been a 6th round for Honoris, honestly. If Jerry doesn't clutch out, then they don't win that round because XE-Power's a very, very late rotation. He's the one lurking over the B bomb site. It's an annihilation of the ramp players. And Jerry, that's a big, big round for him to win the in-game leader, stepping up when needed. And Forze, finally, Jay, they're going to get onto the board. Just like seeing no mid control really being established from Forze at all. It's back to pretty much the same set piece that we saw in the last round.
I was going to say, you know, they haven't really opted to go ahead and face against the Honoris side in that mid area, and I think that's partially down to the fact that they got kind of a little bit wrecked in one of the earlier rounds when it came to their mid control. I think it was the pistol round, in fact, but you know, with the rifles, they haven't gone for any sort of mid control whatsoever. And here with a Mac 10 for face crack, they'll be a little bit limited back here. Ryko's going to burn a little bit, but gets himself a kill anyway. Almaza gets a trade, and Taz lines up his spray towards 2, only gets a single pick, and goes to a 3-on-3 scenario. So Honoris are locked out of the bomb site. The smokes are there. Neo's going to push forward of it. The flashbang coming in will keep him away for the moment. We'll fall back to the stairs to the retake.
I'm still wondering what XE-Power is going to do. They just need to hold on to this A bomb site if he wants to try and cut off these rotations because it's going to take him some time. And I tell you what, did Stomp? I don't think he heard that. Neo going into the site. It's all down to Jerry once again because he's alone on the bomb site, but XE-Power's got the line and the bomb is planted for him as well. Prism knows exactly where he is. He could just try and stick the bomb actually.
Put the smoke down onto it. Going to get there right now. Further flashes out. He's going to wait for the timing and tap on the bomb right here. Sticking the whole 10 seconds. Up shots from Xe a little bit too far wide. He's so close, but he does land it in the end. And does save the round for Forze. Third time's the charm on that shot. And Prism, well, he could have gotten away with it. I feel like if he had a kit, he may have been able to do a bit better. But the truth of the matter is that Forze still have the second round on that board. It was a very expensive one for that T side, though.
Yeah, it certainly was. Honoris are making these rounds incredibly close so far. But Forze starting to take back that control that we could expect from them in this best of one. Very light investment coming out from Honoris. It's only only Rico, I should say, and Taz with investments. And I tell you what, we're just seeing like the same like strategy coming out from Forze on a consistent level. I wonder when they're going to go back to taking the mid face, or at least taking mid control, because at the moment they've left a lurker over at B and they've put heavy presence out through ramp the last 2 rounds now.
Honoris will be down to the pistols to concede a 3rd round to the Forze side, as you should expect in this moment. Out of room control, the short control, the utility out from face crackers. They finally do go for some mid control here, Dweg. Opting against it for most of the rifle rounds and the AKs coming out here against the pistols. They move in, the USP from Neo. Can it be allowed a kill? How did he get away with that much? This turned back around by the AWPer and the AK, and Stomp with only 1 pick before he goes forward, and the Deagle of Taz, the only thing that's left standing. And he'll do some damage to Jerry, but no more than that. 3 kills to his name, and a 3rd round on the board for Forze. Honoris here with that eco to buy back into this one. You can see the AWPs coming in immediately, pass back and forth between Ryko and Stomp, and the M4's out for everybody else.
And I wonder whether Honoris, I mean, the money line's not really there for him in this round, but I wonder whether we're going to see a double AWP presence coming out on the city side. Maybe one of the youngsters to pick it up. Now, this time around, it just could be a full commitment up to this B bomb site into the apartments relatively quickly. No presence out through mid or A. It is everyone around this apartment's position.
Yeah, 5-man stack up, maybe another set piece. It looked like it was initially, but 2 players have broken off towards underpass, so they might be setting up for a rotation if they have to go there. I mean, they've already got Neo to deal with here on the upper position. Will they check it? And will he just go for the first player, or will he wait? No, it's just going to go for that first pick and fall back. Man advantage gained, smokes down. Prism going to fall back to the bench area. Grimes have a bit of room with a smoke here, and FaceCrack will take out his backup in Neo. Almanza gets Taz getting overly aggressive, and Prism is overwhelmed by Face Crack. 2 kills on Mac 10 on a buy-up round. Stomp will get a trade back on the A side. There's a 3 versus 2 retake favorable to the T side.
I tell you what, these lurking plays have just been so disruptive. Like, it hasn't worked fantastically, but in these last few rounds, there's certainly been an impact there. So we see the B set piece to be lined up, a couple of players going out from underpass, Neo finds the first pick, and then Almazer is just waiting in mid to cut the rotations out from the A-bomb side players. And not only is he able to find a fantastic kill, but he denies time for the CTs to be wondering about, you know, is there anyone else around A or around mid? You got to keep your eye on it, and it takes longer for the CTs to actually aggress into the bomb site to set themselves up for a retake. Forze, 4 rounds in a row now for them. Will we see a tactical? There we are. Okay, tactical pause coming out for the polls. Think things over. Probably, I mean, probably won't see a buy. Considering that everyone's around that 3k float, yes, you could drop over an M4 and a FAMAS to a couple of players, but it would be very light on the utility and probably just going to be an eco round for them.
Yeah, no, I must imagine that too. I mean, at best, you're looking at a half buy. I feel like for Honoris, you know, they've got a little bit of money to spend because the lost bonus is coming in the next round, so maybe down to 1.5k on the pistols.
Yeah.
You can see Prism is buying up a Deagle already. Could also afford some a little bit of Kevlar with it. Wouldn't recommend the head Kevlar, but Neo also getting a CZ for his own right. Taz yet to invest. And Honoris. I'm just going to go with those pistols around the 2 rifles. The AWP and the M4 will be the main damage dealers for this round, though. See Jerry fast playing towards the mid position, down over towards Connector. We won't go up Connector, but he'll evade the AWP that's watching that position. And the AK moving into the sniper's nest. The shot connecting on towards Stomp as he goes 13 HP lower. Face Crack moving on the flank position as the AWP does go falling. So does one of the pistols. CZ back here for Taz. Tries to do his best, but he's also low on HP. And Riker actually will end up taking him down. But in the end, it's only him and Prism, the last 2 players left standing.
And maybe Riker will be able to hold on to that M4. And, oh my goodness, I can't believe Flit actually loses out that duel, considering how blind Rico is. Let's see how much more damage they're able to do to the T side. Honestly, holding on to this M4 would be massive, but they're not able to do so. Prism in the backlines. But 1 versus 3 for him. Best he can do is probably find an exit kill.
If he got an exit kill, then that would be... ooh,
nice.
3 players worth of damage, so again, they're going to make it as expensive as they can on the Honoris side. Now with max loss bonus in their favor. Balls up. Have a rifle to contend with here on this CT side. The AWP coming in for Stomp immediately. The M4 is getting brought down as well. Should be a pretty defined and confident buy. Double AWPs, in fact, coming out. The second one passed off to Neo here on this CT side.
Okay. That's interesting. It's been a really long time since we've seen Neo with the AWP. All right, let's see if this is like a permanent fixture with the double AWPs on the City setup.
Honoris will be happy to just play things out on the defaults for the moment here. They're once again going to receive a lot of presents into the apartments. And they haven't been very well thought out of getting the beat onto what they're doing out here when they go for these quick hits. These setups are very fast into the site. And Prism has left the B-bomb site pretty much undefended. Him and Neo will go down on short as Jerry and Almaza get their picks to open up the round for the T side. And already Honoris are throwing in the towel. No sense in throwing away these weapons. Forze will get to 6, so 5 on the trot for the CTs, and then 6 on the trot for the T-side Forces. Forze establishing their dominance and their repute here on this map up.
That's the thing, right? Double AWPs on the City side of Mirage. If ever you get rushed, it is so difficult to establish the retake. It's not possible. We saw some great entries coming out for both Almazer and Jerry. Look, at least Prism, he finds the first pick, but it's just the instant trades coming out on both the short and the arch players, and you know, kind of around the same position makes it easier for the T side to be dealt with. And Honoris, even with the double AWPs coming out, rushed into the B bomb site, the best strategy that you can try and pull out. And Forze up, I'll tell you what, these last 6 rounds have looked pretty solid from them, and should be able to continue their presence Honoris, they just need to find something. They need to find some sort of opening pick, whether it comes off aggression, whether it comes off passiveness, but they're just losing so many opening man advantages. Top mid smoke coming out. Maybe they try and take some mid control.
Ooh, did that smoke miss?
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, didn't quite land. That's a good point. Yeah, it didn't.
How did that like bounce off the floor or something, or like a divot in the floor? Well, either way, we'll get a moment to check out the demos later on, but now the execution's coming in very thick and fast from the Forze side. Stop with that opening kill. M4 turns around for Ryko, gets himself a nice double, turns around for the triple against Jerry. He's dropped that bomb already. He sees the heads of the several players that are left, but actually turns it to a 2 versus 2 on his AWP pick. It's him and Jerry versus Prism and Neo here, and Neo's making his way slowly around towards the top mid area. He's actually going to be able to cut off the bomb. He's going to hear these footsteps. This is going to be a beautiful flank, but the AWP thinks better of it, and so does Neo. Falling out. Prism looking on towards the Tetris area, deals with Jerry, so it's all left to XE Power. 1 versus 2 with the orb, and he does have an easy line to the B bomb site from here.
He certainly does. It comes down to timing, right, though, is that if it's 20 seconds before he's even made his way into the B bomb site, that's where we might see Honoris say, you know what, let's split the defense and maybe over-rotate to the B bomb site just to get some info. Because at the moment, they're both cross-firing on A. They haven't seen anything. Neo's actually making his way in jungles. He'll be able to check out mid for the moment being. Doesn't see anything. And here it is. XE Power should be able to get a free bomb plant over at the B bomb site and maybe even aggress him through market.
Go for the plant down towards the open corner, so you're going to play back over in a passive position. Here towards the truck face. Angle there from the truck position. He's actually going to abreast the apartments and don't expect the backstab to come in here, and those scopes out from Neo's part. Flashes away. He's being a bit too twitchy about this, and Neo can see the gun barrel, see the man, and take the frag. So Honoris will get themselves back up to 6 once again against the Forza squad. It was 6 rounds in a row for the T side, and now turns back to the even standing for Honoris. They break the cycle and break the momentum.
And DFU's coming through. I think Neo wants to pick up a rifle over from CT, and there it is. That's the AWP that I believe Stomp had in that last round. The double orbs recovered, at least for Honoris. And Forza buying straight back into this. The bank looking pretty solid at the moment on a couple of the players. Another timeout. I'll tell you what, Jay, I'm actually quite pleased that we're seeing these timeouts coming through.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, compared to that last map up where Contact only used one of theirs, and it's like, well, you wonder how they weren't able to adjust and win. And this time, both sides are like, no. We'll take every advantage that you've given us, and we will utilize it to great effect. And that's part of the reason why I love the experienced teams here in the Tier 2 scene, because you know, not everybody does that, and not enough people do that, I think. The tactical timeout, very quickly going to get over here for the Forza side, obviously conceding that last round. Got to try and figure out the way to crack Honoris, because they've been able to do it before, you know, and when they break Honoris, like, you know, it feels like that they just crumbled to pieces. You know, they had a great basis in the first 5 rounds, and after that, Forza just read them like a book, shut them all down, forced a lot of the issues on the picks and peaks.
Oh, fast out from mid. XE Power not going to be getting a duel so far. And Flash coming out, at least that gives a little bit of information up for the Polar side that there is some mid control trying to be established. Oh my goodness, they're going to pass each other. Oh, that's so nice from Taz.
Yeah, nice kill on towards Almazar, I should say. I was going to say XE Power. Actually assisted with the flash. The stop there with the orb kill. XE Power turns around for another good frag. Ryko and Taz chime in. Flit does get a kill, but he's got a 1 versus 3 to make sure the rest of this round works. And he's got quite a bit of time, sure, but ooh, a flick towards Neo. Not quite the next man, though. The double face from Taz and Prism does end up ending off the kills. But Honoris losing a lot of players in these rounds. And yes, even though they are the rifle rounds and they are just as expensive, they're still very expensive for the Honoris side.
And I'm honestly very surprised from Honoris so far. I mean, yes, you know, we did see that good 5-0 lead, but I mean, all in all, to be able to get the lead over Forza in this first half is a very impactful feat in its own. The buy does come back in for Forza. Back to passive stuff for the T side. Not really too much mid establishment at all. Couple of players lurking around that top mid area. And they're almost, it looks like they're expecting aggression to come out from the City defense.
think Honoris haven't really pushed aggressive too much in this one. You know, they had that little stint towards ramp and, of course, the mid position where they went with the pistol round, but almost sort of rifles. Been very passive and standing here, and one time when they do get aggressive is Neo when he takes out Facecrack there. Stomp also catches off the AWP pick towards that mid and sniper nest area, so 5-on-3 already is... Well, Forze allowed Honoris to get to these passive positions, and they're going to punish him for it.
Prism. Not sure if you would have heard the footstep of Almazer in the apartments. This could be a bit of an awkward exchange as well through connector. Just comes down to timing of when Flit decides to push through. They've brought the AWP of Neo over to that B bomb site. Both AWPs being able to find the opening picks of the game. Or the round, I should say. Ooh, Almazer. Oh, that's a good find.
Well, I'll find the next there if he wants to bring up another round here. Spray is manic, and actually Jerry comes in from short to take the man down. Flit's going to wait back here against Raiko, but Raiko will get the kill of his own right. So 3-on-2 scenario, making it one as Taz gets out Almazer. Jerry sneaks a bomb plant in and takes the fight against Taz, but Taz will still win it out all in all. So Honoris will have the CT half under wraps as they get to 8-6. They can push for 9, then Honoris will be in good stead to try and shut down Forze here.
You can almost expect that it should really be a 9th, considering the buy that's going to come through from Forza. It's not going to be a great one at all. Galil upgrade Mac 10 as well. May even see a couple of Mac 10s on the playing field. And let's see what Almazer decides to upgrade. It's only going to be a deal from him, so a very shaky buy indeed from Forza, and an opportunity of Honoris to be able to pick up their 9th in the first half.
And the Mac 10 from Facecrack with the first thing out of the gates here against Neo. First, he takes him down. Can't hit the long-range spray against Taz, though, so the M4 will try and back in. But Jerry turns his AK on for a 2-for-1. Prism is left alone here to the bomb site. He's backed up by Stomp on the AWP, but a Scout still wins it out for XC. Almazer turns on for a D-able shot, and Forza forced the issue, taking out every single player that they can. And that will take us within 1 of the lead here for the Honoris side. 8-7 is the CT board favour. It was a good effort, all things considered, against the Forze squad.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was a good recovery as well. We saw that 5-0 lead with a couple of rifle rounds going the way of Honoris, getting momentum. They're able to stop that and find 6 of their own. And one thing I'm certainly noticing, at least in this best of 1, Jay, that we kind of didn't see in the best of 1 earlier was these rounds haven't been back and forth. They've been in patches of streaks. So I wonder whether that's going to continue going into the second half. But for Honoris, it comes down to this pistol, right? Trying to get a good pistol round, seeing if they're able to sort of continue this lead going into the T side.
I mean, it does tell me that the Honoris side are very based on momentum more than anything else, you know, because, I mean, that big streak that they got in the first 5 rounds looked so confident, so coordinated, and then they lost their first 1 to Forze, and then they got 6 back-to-back. So for me, I feel like Honoris need good starts and need to try and maintain their starts more than anything else against a team like the Forza squad, because it's going to be tough for them to maintain their control and dominance above the Forza side if they're going to keep getting responded to and crumbling under that pressure. Good numbers being posted up by several players. I mean, Prism's on 13 kills so far, which isn't, you know, an outstanding stat, but it is the highest frag count for the Honoris side, and considering we don't know much about this guy, so it's a good stat line to post up.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a way to kind of prove yourself and say, you know, like, I'm not a no-namer. To be able to put up a good performance against a team like Forza is certainly a good opportunity for him to show, I suppose, everyone what he's made of and what this team's made of as well. I mean, one surprising factor for me is Flit is kind of underperforming so far, at least in the first half. He's normally one of the most sort of fundamental players for this Forza lineup, having some of the most impact a lot of the times. But it's actually Jerry, the in-game leader, that we've seen both clutch out rounds and have a big impact at the moment.
Yeah, certainly the main man for the Forza side, getting the highest frag count in the server right now. They'll be able to reciprocate here on the pistol round. We're about to find out. Flash, Smoking HE for Taz and Neo here, and they're going to set themselves up towards the A bomb site here. It seems like it's already just going to be a pistol execution. Go for the bomb plant and potentially hold off against the CTs incoming. However, they have got Jerry standing by here on the CT ticket booth area, ready to shut them down as they look to make their way out. Smokes down towards connect to jungle and stairs. A flash over, does not connect towards Jerry. He'll take a swing and tap out. Face crack looking for Stomp first, and he will draw first blood in this half. A headshot, simple as that. And they actually force the CTs to fall back here.
And so far for Honoris, at least they get a bomb plant down. A couple of smokes coming out to the stairs and jungle area. Flash coming in. Face crack going to get taken down. The T side wanted to regress in through jungle, and so far they've been pretty successful because it's in a 3-on-3.
Pressing with that latest frag of the round. Jerry's still here towards top of ticket booth, and somehow they're not going to be able to deal with him. No one checking that angle, and he'll pay the price for it. Now the smokes go down. No one's on the bomb just yet, but Neo's going to tap up towards Armors to take him out. Jerry with a trade back, so it's all left to Neo now. USB against 2. They're going to face against him. Tap the bomb now. Taps up, and Jerry does get the pick in the end. The defuse is being stuck here by Flit, and he'll be able to secure the 8th round. Forze coming right back in off the back of the first half.
I'd love to see the Force spy come in from Honoris. With that bomb plant coming through, they get 3 big kills. It'd be a good scenario to try and reset the economy from Forza. And there it is. There's the Glills being upgraded, the Scout as well for Stomp. And I'll tell you what, Forza are probably expecting this. A couple of M4s coming out as well, and an Exi power on the Scout as well.
Ooh. And first face in against another sniper. Ooh. Landed down. Taz and Stomp will combine for Flip, take him out. Damage has been done to 2 of the T-side players, and there's 1 player next to you on 31 points of health. Easy pick to find, if assuming they know exactly where to face and how to take the fights. A minute and 20 to the clock, and Honoris will rotate back out. Try to find a different way to approach this. Looking like they want to go back towards the A-bomb site here.
And I tell you what, even though they've got a man advantage, they've got a couple of players that are quite low, so they've got to be certainly careful on the entry, trying to get the high HP players up close and personal and take the low HP players to try and take a fight from a distance. But it looks like they're just going to set themselves up for an AP. 2 players here currently at the moment. Not a lot of utility to work with on the Forza side. Jerry, resmacking out in front of the default position, trying to work with that as well, but this is going to be the information coming up. The rotates are very slow from the B bomb side though.
Incendiary down, Jerry taking a kill on towards Neo. Raiko gets a pick back, but face crack still here towards Dark in Raiko's position. He gets a secondary kill as well. Training out for the Galil, looking for Raiko next. He knows he's out in the open, but we do get the trades back to a 2-on-2. That bomb has been dropped open for anyone to see, and the CTs have their vision on towards it. Good kill from Exi. Leaves it all on Stomp now. 23 points of health. The Scout in, scope around the corner. Almaza will peek up and pick him out and get the kill here for the Forza side, the round here for the Forza side. And that should force us back to Eco on the T-side half.
And that's a big round coming out from Facecrack. The fact that he even gets that second kill without getting traded is it's just incredible to think. And Honoris not going to be able to take back the lead. It's going to be Forza up 9-8. And really, you can't expect the T-side to find too much. There's only a couple of upgrades of some Deagles and a P250 to work with. This should be double digits now for the CIS team.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised at that. The Deagles in are scarce, and already one has been taken out of play. Neo will recover it immediately, but look at Flit. Gonna part here in the mid-control. XT Power gets himself involved. Jerry gets a kill of his own right, so all in all, a very good clean-up round there from the Forza side. Did lose 1 man, but not too concerning. Viops come back in for the Honoris side. AWP, AKs, standard. Of course, the AWP back in for XT Power. No double AWPs just yet for the CT Force. The money's not quite there. Although I wouldn't put it past them to buy as soon as the money starts spawning in. They start getting some decent income at the moment.
Jerry's actually made the jump up to the short face, but he actually gets deleted so quickly coming out from Neo on the dry run. And Honoris, a man advantage to work with. Now, they've established the mid-control. They've got a lot of options to work with. They've got a lurker around the B apartments at the moment and one in towards Palace. And I tell you what, I think that nade would have just hit the foot of Facecrack. So they've got the info at least of the con player. Honoris, seeing what more they can find with it. Still quite some time left on the clock, and given up on this A bomb site. They've put a heavy presence over towards mid at the moment. The crossfire trying to be set from both Facecrack and Flip, but he gets smoked out of that position. That denies even more information at the moment for the CTs. And I tell you what, they want to try and force them into the trap over at the B bomb side, and it looks like the T side are going to go that way. Flash into the short area. 2 players over at B, one at bench and one behind the site as well. And Flick can make his way up into ladder room. Getting closer to 40 seconds now. Forze. What are they able to find with this? Still lacking in information at the moment. They've got no idea what's happening. They've got a good read, at least with 3 players over to B, and with Flip finding that kill, that's going to give up the information. Power with the AOP, going to be able to chime onto 1. Flip as well. No, it's actually Power to find his 2nd kill of the round, and the cleanup coming through for Forze. This surely is going to be their 11th. Oh my goodness, what a shutdown coming out, and it looked to be in a good position from Honoris. They had great map control. But Forze, they just clean up a B.
Definitely follow the round right into the clutches of Flit and XC. No real challenge for them to get those players down. The AK is coming in, the AWP, of course, for XC still out and about, and of course, so much firepower swinging the way of the CT side. And at this point, any head Kevlar they find on the Honoris side is just going to get shot down. Even if they went for the force buy out here, they'll go for a half buy even so. And yeah, Honoris. Meat grinder. They might just do the exact same thing right here. Out towards mid, and you could already see they've got a good idea of what site they want to hit. 2 players already in towards connector. They got smokes out towards short to try and block off any sort of main vision and presence, but Jerry with that first pick, the AWP of XC is so ready to try shut anybody down on the stairs area. And this connector control is mid-presence. What a spot and what a shot. And the follow-up from Jerry will just pick them apart. 2 players left, and it's going about as well for Honoris as you would expect.
Taz might be able to at least catch off 1 player. And so he does, but any more than that's going to be difficult. Can't even recover that AK as well to try and find any more in the round. Forze now. And this is what... I don't think that Honoris have won a round yet on this second half. This is 5 rounds in a row for Forze. And things are certainly looking good from them. And you got to think, Jay, when's the next tactical pause coming out for the Polish side? It's got to be coming out soon.
Well, they're running out of time to make it happen. Four players setting themselves up into this Palace stack position. Smoke's already gone down. They're not worried about the stairs area. Out to the ramp position, and Prism will know where Jerry is at. Good pick back. Neo gets a kill on XC Power. 5 on 3, making it 2. Neo doubles up, and Flit and Almaza. Last 2 players for the Forza squad. As Neo looks to pick apart another, and this went much better for Honoris by comparison. Information spot, punishing players, hiding back behind boxes. And in the end, they will secure a ninth on the C side.
Oh, that is actually just such a great round from Neo. He wins that round for his team. So what happens there is they've got a lurker of Neo to come up through con. They're running a huge distraction out from out from Palace and ramp. And what that does is it pulls the attention away from the 2 players around that connector area. Neo being able to take down the player on stairs as well, and then falling down to catch off the window player. 3 big kills going out for Neo, and finally Honoris going to get onto the board in the second half, their first round being found. But even with a strong round victory like that, Jay, you've got to be thinking it can't just be 1 round. It's got to be more. It's got to be momentum, and it's got to be now.
And the AWPs in, of course, for both sides, XC and Stomp. Honoris with the AKs out as standard and M4 saved. They're going back to the basics once again for the A-site execution. It worked out well when they went for the Palace rush. Now it's going to be a bit more defined entering from both a Palace and ramp. The smoke's going down towards connector jungle and stairs. I don't think there's a gap in that one. There's only Jerry here to receive them. I'll put some nades on, try and do some early damage, but have to concede the bomb site and go to a 5v5 retake.
Now, this is certainly going to be a difficult retake coming out from Forza. But it's Jerry to start things off. Man advantage. And I tell you what, they're very late from coming in from mid. They still expect some sort of alert player to come out. And the T side, they're trying to take jungle control.
Spraying from Taz gets that kill. Face crack turns it around. Forze still have the man advantage going in for the retake here. They're going to commit to this wholeheartedly. Prison sees one over at the stairs area. Spots out two as they double peek him and take him down. Stomp and Ryko there for the Honoris side. Now left to back off the passive. They have got Ryko actually in a bit of an awkward position. Stomp peeks out with the AWP, takes that one. They've got to get to the site now. Stomp gets a secondary kill over towards the ramp area. Flicks back. Flick's going to hold on to Ryko, but they're stalled for enough time. Honoris somehow keeping a hold of the bomb site there by sneaking in some sneaky picks, and the AWP in particular going massive.
I tell you what, that's one of the biggest rounds we've seen from Stomp yet, really coming alive when needed. That was such an important round, and it comes down to Forza just taking a little bit too long on the retake. The AWP right at the end being able to find a couple of nice kills, and a timeout from Forza. Now, this is their third timeout in this best of one so far. A moment to talk things over. The AWP on the back of Exy Power. Almazer can get a buy-in. Almazer can definitely buy. Exy Power could drop an M4, but yeah, look, it's a tough call to make whether they go for the full investment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like it's a tough ask. I don't think they opt to go for it at all. You know, the USP's in with the Kevlar and SMG for Jerry and an M4 for Almazer. And actually, that's a bit more of a heavy investment than you would expect, but they saved some money in the reserves here. I think about the loss bonus here. I think it just about adds up to get themselves another buy, if my maths is correct and my memory serves me correctly. But either way, for the defaults here, 4 players on A side. They're expecting another A play from Honoris, and they'd be right to assume that here.
At the moment, we're just seeing Prism doing a bit of lurking out in the B bomb side, but it's back to these set pieces at A, which have seen success before from the T's side. A couple of entries going in the way of the Honoris side, and they open up the bomb site completely. Exy Power with the AWP, 1 versus 4. The B bomb site defender, not really much that he can do now, and really, Forza have kind of come to a bit of a hurdle at the moment. We're starting to see Honoris being able to win out a couple of rounds in a row now. This is going to be their third. How much more can we really see from Forza? The AWP from Exy Power should stay alive at least. But Honoris, they're going to try and probably take him down. I mean, the economy's not great on the T side, so they obviously don't want to lose too many players to the hunt. But if they're able to take the AWP in the hands of the CT side, that would be fantastic. Good flashbang coming out, and Exy Power hits a good shot, but can he follow up? Yes, he can. Oh my goodness, I can't believe he stays alive from that. Oof, that takes some giving.
And keeping that AWP in play is going to be pretty crucial for the Forze side. Taking as many players out as they can of the Honoris squad, and they're going to keep them on a limited economy basis. You can see the investment and how little money they'll have. So Forza with this next buy could still be in position to shut them down. The AK is coming in here. The AWP passed off to, well, actually Stomp. I thought he was going to pass it back towards Taz. In the end, it's the AK being dropped over towards the veteran of the T side. Forza still looking for their way into this matchup, still looking for their way to close this one down. They are still in the lead, but only by a single round. A lot of work needed if they want to try and hold on to any more than this. Smoke's going out, perfectly timed from Face Rex to go back in for another A execution. And Forza are starting to get more privy to the fact, you know, you saw that big stack coming in the last round. This time they'll be a little bit more careful around placing 4 players on the A site.
And look, I actually don't mind this coming out from Honoris. So it's kind of like a double pump setup. They use a bit of utility out to A. They keep the players here from Forza. And what looks like it's going to do is they're going to fake over to B and hopefully pull the rotations out from the A bomb site. What is the play here from Honoris? Because the T side is completely split at the moment, and I tell you what, it works out fantastically. They catch off the lurker. Jerry's going to chime into the action, though, and they're going to bring the bomb over to B. They've opened it up. The A bomb side's completely taken, I suppose you could say, from the CT side, but B is on the cards.
Yeah, Flit does get a kill on the way out, though, and the bomb rotates out to get planted. They have left the B site relatively open here. There's no one on bench. The market area is the only thing left. As they cross successfully, Flit will be watching out from the door, and Neo so close to tempting Face with a Fate. Or Fate with a Face, I should say. And the backstab also coming in from FaceCrack. Need to be wary of this. If he shuts down a bomb planter, that will be the end of the round. He'll make his way up. He won't reach Stomp in time. He will spot him and spray him, though. He's got back up there towards the corner. Flit deals at him. And know where the AWP is. They can just overwhelm him from here. And FaceCrack will get that final frag. And we'll get Forze to 13. The bomb plant will give him a bit of a bonus for the Honoris side, but I think the money line is going to be pretty wrecked in this next buy. Couple players again that are high rollers here, but this will be a hard force, so they want to go for it here.
That was a really weird round coming out from Honoris, and what we saw happen, the only way that round is not successful, right, is if there's aggression from the CT side, and we see the aggression. We see one of the CTs aggressing, I think it was Almeza, through the apartments. He gets taken down, and then it's just the aggression from A ramp. It's aggression everywhere on the CT side, and for Honoris, they just don't expect it at all. A force buy coming in, all grouped together up to the B bomb site. Ooh. AWP very aggressive at the moment. How much further does Almeza decide to push forward?
Very fast as well coming in from the AWP player. He does opt to back off in the end as he's forced away by utility. Armor's there with the smoke, blocking off his vision in towards the apartments. Flit, however, just blind spray on towards Prism, take him down. Nades also to respond back. The T's making their way in. Honoris have lost the first man. The AWP rack down the corner. They actually get the first one, but not quite the second. XC and Flit do chime in, so it's a 4 versus 2 scenario. Favorable, of course, to the CT side. XC is going to be careful when he peeks in next, but Flit backing up for his backup side on the backstab here. The apartments and FaceCrack will once again close out the round. Taz going down, and 14-11. Forza have destroyed the Honoris economy there, and they're very heavy buy. There's not enough cash to go for full investment.
And the unfortunate thing there, right, is that they don't really deal with Flit. And there looked to be a slight gap in one of those arch smokes. And rather than putting a molly behind the arch smokes and trying to force Flit back, he was just trying to fight. And he was finding so much impact. Honoris not being able to clear out the bomb site allows the rotations to come through, and they're just completely overwhelmed. Upgraded pistols, that's all they're going to work with. This really should be map point now, going the way of Forza.
Yeah, they're having a ball of a time right now on this CT Force. And Honoris are playing for overtime at this moment. They've got the pistols out and the very low investment. Flit takes that first pick. Taz rounds around a corner, and that'll be the bomb being dropped. Even getting a third pick on towards Neo, so mid control. Taken apart. Prism was boosted up into the sniper's nest. He does see FaceCrack take him down, but no more than that. Jerry turns it on. It's all left to Ryko. Last man standing, tapping up. 5 HP for XC, and he will end off with the kill. 15 on match point for Forza now. Honoris with one final buyback to ensure that they can get control.
And honestly, if Honoris, if they go down at this round, Jade, they can keep their heads up high. This has been a tremendous performance for a team that this is their first official map, or match, I should say, on HLTV. We haven't seen anything from them, and they've been able to pull a very good fight so far from Forza. But let's see if they can bring the fight even closer. And playing for OT, and look at the aggression coming out from Jerry. Stomp with the AWP, can't win out the fight, and there's an opening pick going the way of the CT defense.
Incendiary is out and about. FaceCrack, top of the scaffolding, will look in against Ryko, take him down. Taz in the Tetris area will get one pick, try to look for a second desperately, but Neo is left alone, and it won't matter for him. He's down and out. It's 16-11 for Forza. They will take apart the Honoris side, and do you know what? Even though they lost, it was still a good effort, all things considered. You know, they started off things fantastically. You know, they caught Forza off guard several different times, and for a team that's had just literally their first official right there, it's not a bad performance, you know.
It's very impressive. And look, we're seeing some signs of at least some good team coordination, right? We're seeing some really good crossfires being set.